Hey everybody, it's Mike here with Bishop's Bounty Outdoors. Today we're going to be doing a real simple video, just going over some of the things that I use camping equipment wise whenever I go out in the woods. The setup that I have is going to be leaning more towards using setups for hunting deep in the woods. Specifically, the pack that I have set up and everything else is for deep hunting in the woods when I was out west. Different types of equipment that I use, what I think works best, and from some of my trials and issues that I've had in the woods in the past, things just to help everybody else move forward and to have a better understanding of what to use, what not to use, save you a little pain, a little bit of torture from outside in the woods like I had. I unfortunately learned the hard way with a lot of stuff, so making this video so you don't have to suffer. So first off, when it comes to pack setups and what you're going to use it for, like I said, mine's set up for hunting and camping activities. You can utilize any type of pack that you want, curtail it to whatever type of activity that you're going to do. Mine specifically is for hunting and camping. With that in mind, I cannot stress enough of getting a proper pack to use in these types of situations. Anything that's going to get that load that's off of your shoulders and to place it more on your hips and around your waist is huge. And I cannot express enough how much it's important to get a good pack. So I've used anything from the $20 Walmart backpack, playing it cheap, all the way up to a very, very nice pack that's well made. I'm just going to show you the pack that I use, and I'll give you some other reference points and some other ideas of what to use. It's not going to be as expensive, but I will tell you, you will get what you pay for. So, the pack that I use is this one right here. This pack is a Mystery Ranch pack. I ended up getting this one because I had friends that had used it and had nothing but good things to say about it. This pack, unfortunately, is not cheap, but like I said earlier, you get what you pay for. And a lot of the designs into this pack was huge into my decision making for when I was going out west. Or I've even taken this pack with me up in northern Pennsylvania when we're hunting the Allegheny National Forest. It's just another type of setup that if you decide, hey, I'm going to go into this area, camp, and then hunt from that location, you can do that with this type of equipment. So with this pack, it's got one large compartment here in the center, then it has these two outer compartments, and there's another compartment on top of the lid that's for the top of this pack. You also have two little side pouches where you can store stuff to get to quickly, one on this side and one on the other side right here. The nice features about this is that the frame that's on this pack is extremely sturdy. Gives you all the support that you need. I've had this pack all the way up to 55 pounds and have put this on. Once you get this waist belt strapped on you and you cinch down your shoulder straps, it doesn't feel like 55 pounds. Whereas if you get a cheaper pack that doesn't have a waist belt or a good frame and you put 55 pounds in it, all of that stress is going to go right into your shoulders. And if you're walking with it for a while, you're going to see the bruises on your shoulders after walking for a long distance, having it on your back constantly. It's miserable. Do yourself a favor and get a decent pack with a frame and with a waist belt. You can also go to Bass Pro, Cabela's, and they'll have a cheap frame pack. I have one. Maybe it's like around $100, $150. It would cut down on the expense of this. And then you can use that frame pack, you can hook up another backpack to it, something else, just to get that weight off your shoulders. It makes a world of difference. So, with this pack, I'm going to go over everything that I have inside of this. It's more set up right now just for hunting. I'll go over the things that I carry, and this is also what I take with me when I camp also. I know a lot of people probably think that this is overkill for what I have. This is by no means overkill, especially when you're in the backcountry, far away from any type of civilization, off of motor trails, and you're deciding, hey, I'm going to camp out. I'm going to get closer to whatever game it is that I'm hunting, this is a good setup for that. By no means, once again, am I saying that I'm the master of knowing all this stuff. I'm open to any other information. I'm still learning myself. Everything that I learned was from when I was in the military and just researching and doing my own research into seeing what works, what doesn't work. But above all else, I enjoy my comfort, especially when I'm out in the woods. I'm sure anybody else that's out there is like, yes, I enjoy comfort as well. So some of the things that I have in here are for comfort, are for making things a little bit easier. So we'll go down the breakdown of what I have here in my pack. So you have these two top straps you undo, simple clips, and like I said, this top portion of the pack is actually a pouch in and of itself. So we'll go ahead and unzip this. And inside this pouch here, I'll just go over every little piece of equipment that I have. Something that's commonly overlooked. I think anybody that's been hunting for a while has done this. You're field dressing an animal, you nick yourself with a knife, you fall, you scrape your knee, whatever the means is. A little bag with some Band-Aids, alcohol wipes. I even have some iodine and some medical tape in here. Extremely overlooked. Make a little bag like this, take it with you. It's going to save you a lot of headache. Nobody wants to get an infection. Nobody wants to get sick or anything else out there while you're in the woods. That defeats the purpose of you enjoying going out there hunting and camping. Little medical bag. Next thing that I have in here, and this is something that I really enjoy using, is the Sawyer water filter. And this specific one is the Squeeze water filtration system. This system right here, and I don't recommend you do this, you can grab this entire system, take it with you, never have used it. All the instructions are on the front of the bag and on the back of the bag. So what you do with this is you take off this cap, fill it with water, and then you go ahead and use this filter. Literally, you're just squeezing this bag into whatever water container that you have with you, and then you have filtered water with you. So this is a great little kit. This one I haven't used yet. There's another squeeze system that I have used, and a lot of people are thinking to themselves, well, if you're going camping or if you're doing whatever, why would I need something like this? For my particular situation, I'm deep in the woods where we don't want to carry a ton of water bottles, and water has a ton of weight. So we carry a water filtration system. I typically have like a Camelback or some, I forget what the name of those bottles are. I have different types of water bottles that I carry with me that I'll go ahead and filter water into those bottles, and I'll be able to drink from those. I have never gotten sick using this water system, so I give it a thumbs up. It's a very, very good water system. Next that I have in here is just like a basic rifle cleaning kit, just for keeping your hunting rifle or whatever it is that you're using out in the woods, just keeping it nice, lubricated, dry, clear of debris. It's just something you should have on hand. Something I have inside of this pouch, and I'll go over this, is the old school way of doing water purification. I'm not huge on these tablets. They work, but I don't like the way they make the water taste. So this is just another option. I like to carry at least 3 options with me when I'm really far in the woods of having some type of water purification. So this is just another one. And once again, with these, there's a label on this. You peel it back, you read the instructions. Very, very easy to use. This little cloth bag is actually worth its weight in gold. I've used it a handful of times just testing out. I haven't had to use it in the woods. Most of the time I'm pretty fortunate to have found a somewhat clear moving water system that I can go ahead and get water from to filter and utilize. So this is called a millbank bag, and this is from a company called Pathfinder. What this is used for, let's say you're going into an area, you don't have any active, good moving water, and you come across maybe a drought area where there's a stream but it's not moving and it's got a lot of debris in it, a lot of garbage. All that stuff that's in there, the sticks, you know, any type of silt, mud, that's all going to be really, really hard on those water filters. So this is like a second water filtration system to use before putting it in a Sawyer water filter. What you do is you go ahead and you dunk this bag into that water, and it's going to filter out all of that heavy debris. It's not going to come out clear. Do not drink water coming out of this bag. It's just to help your other filter not have to filter all that heavy debris. You fill it up to this water line, and there's an eye loop right here that you just hang it, whether it's from a tree or whatever. Just take some 550 cord, hang it up, and it'll start to drip from these corners. Just catch that water, and then you can run it through Sawyer filter, whatever water filter you're using. So this is really, really nice to have on hand just for getting that extra debris out. So that's all that's in my top pouch here. We'll go over these smaller pouches that I have on the back. So what I have in here, just a basic little two-way radio system. I'm typically, especially when I'm hunting really deep in the woods, I always have somebody else with me just for a means of communication. Something else that I carry, I know it probably seems a little strange to some people, but I always carry a tourniquet with me when I'm out in the woods. If you're archery hunting, rifle hunting, whatever it might be, God forbid you get into a situation where you get injured, you have some type of major bleed, this is life-saving and crucial to have on hand with you. So invest in a good tourniquet just to take with you, as always. Then as we go in here a little bit further, I have a watch. And what I have here next is crucial for self-care, especially when you're putting a lot of miles on. Some basic foot powder and some moleskin. Both of these, if you don't take care of your feet, especially when you're out in the woods, they're getting wet, you're getting blisters, any type of friction point that's inside of the boots that you're wearing. Very, very huge in having something like this just to help that comfort level, especially when you're out in the woods. I have a headlamp in here, just a basic one. It's a Browning headlamp, decent little headlight. Then as I go down in here to my next pouch, I carry a compass with me. I don't really use it all that often. I know how to use it. Typically when I go into an area, you'd be surprised how many different types of maps you can get offline. You can just go ahead and download them and print them off at your house if you have that printing capability. Having knowledge of how to use this with the map is huge. A lot of people buy any type of compass, and not all compasses are created equal. They go ahead and they get it, oh, I have it, and then they don't train with it, they don't use it, they don't know basic land navigation. Especially when you're out there in the woods, deep in the woods, and you don't know how to use these things, these are going to be pointless to you. So my suggestion is, if you're going to get a compass, which I recommend you have, learn how to use it. There are tons of other videos out there to show you how to do land navigation and everything else. These can be life-saving. And of course, just carry a lighter. Always have a lighter with me inside of my backpack. This is something else that I use. It's called E6000 glue. Other people know it as shoe goo. There is an actual brand called shoe goo. This is good just for shoe repairs, tent repairs, anything else. This glue adheres to everything and will make it lock tight. So I recommend having some type of repair glue with you. Then in here, I've just got some bug repellent and some face paint for stuff like that when archery hunting. I got a little survival knife similar to the one that I had when I was in the military. I had purchased one of these when I was still in the Army. Really, really good. This knife brand is called Essie. And what I like about these knives, they're a full tang blade. You can use and abuse these things. I've never seen somebody break one. I'm sure you could if you really, really try. The one that I used to have, I just ended up losing it, unfortunately. But these things can be used and abused. You can use it for multiple different purposes, but I recommend having a good knife with you. And that's all that covers inside of that pouch. So, we'll go into the main pouch here as well. What I have at the top here is just a Life Straw water bottle. Like I said, it's just another form of water purification. I typically like to carry 3 with me. A lot of people get these bottles and make the mistake of going up to a stream, dunking this in there and saying, oh, I'm good to drink from this. Any of this stuff that I'm showing you guys, please read the instructions on it, get some training on it. If you go up to a stream with this and dunk it in dirty water and then try to drink it, you're going to get sick. You're going to get giardia, beaver fever, whatever else is out there in the creek, and you're not going to be having a fun trip anymore. What you're supposed to do with these, just so everybody knows, you're supposed to fill this with clean water first. This activates the filter inside, and then as you're using this, you can go up to a dirty water source, dunk it in there, and then you can continue to drink through it. These are great to have, but make sure you know how to use them. And on top of all that, I always carry some type of food with me. Anybody that's big into hunting or hiking for long distance knows Mountain House is life. I love their meals, everything they produce. I have yet to have a meal from them that I'm like, ugh, that's nasty. All of their stuff is good. So I highly recommend Mountain House. There are some other freeze-dried companies out there that I've tried before, but Mountain House is probably my favorite. One of the things that I have in this pack that I love a lot, especially when it comes to hunting in a cold area and trying to get some warm food, is my jet boil system. It's a compact stove. It goes right inside of this whole entire cup right here. All you do is you can pop this lid off. You have the ignition stove itself, a holder, and then you have the actual fuel itself. So this holder just folds out. Make some room here. And it will snap down into these legs. If I can get it here. There you go. And it gives you a good stable base. So once you have this set up here, just pop the lid off your fuel system here. Get your igniter. And it's very simple. You just screw it on there. Now, I will say with these, this is probably my second igniter system I've had on here. After a while of using them, they can break. A lot of the stuff that's on here, especially with the electric igniter, it's a very, very small piece of metal. These can snap off. So just on the off chance that these snap off and then they don't work anymore, that's why I carry a lighter, just in case. There you go. So as you can see, it's a very, very hot, high flame. It's using a butane fuel, I think it is. And these things are absolutely phenomenal. All you do, you saw how easy it is to light these things. You take your cup, there's a fill line with the water. So if you're gonna make freeze-dried meals like those Mountain House meals that I use, go ahead, set it on here, and you actually just twist it. It locks it in place, so then it doesn't fall off. Go ahead and put your water in here. Typically when I have it up to the fill line on this cup, it might be a minute and 30 seconds at the most, and you're gonna have water at a rolling boil. If you're really, really in a desperate situation and you need to purify water or boil it, and you don't have any of this stuff, you could do it with this, but I typically don't have to boil water for purification purposes because I have all these other items with me. So these are just absolutely worth their weight in gold. Another thing that I like to have, especially when I'm out in the woods, is some type of coffee. So you can go ahead, make your hot water, get some instant coffee, or if you're bougie, you can have some of those coffee grinders that are out there, make some cowboy coffee in this. And the lid that comes on this doubles as a coffee mug. So it's just absolutely a phenomenal setup. I love these things. Even when you have hot boiling water inside of this thing, the cover that's on the outside, you can comfortably grab this. Wouldn't recommend grabbing the metal portion on the bottom, but you can still comfortably grab it. And what I have here along with that system that kind of goes with it is a jet boil pot. So you can see the handle just flips out there. Fuel system's attached to the lid. It has its own igniter, and it's got its own little stand. Decent sized little pot. You want to take a can of Campbell's soup with you, whatever else, beans. You can go ahead and warm them up in this. You've got a pot to boil in. So continuing down through my pack here, I also have just a rain poncho. It's pretty basic. It's nothing that's special. With these rain ponchos, you can make different types of shelters with it. I typically don't use this for making a shelter. You could in a pinch if you needed to, and I can go over that kind of stuff in future videos. Typically in the bottom of this pack, there's other 2 straps. The tent that you guys saw in my previous video, I have actually packed that on here, just attached it to the bottom, and you can carry a shelter, food, water purification stuff, cooking utensils, all sorts of things with you. So it just enables you to be able to go, all right, I'm self-sustaining, I can go further, push further, chase whatever wild game that you're going after, or just having a good time hiking. And as I go down in here further, something else that people kind of overlook is having a decent hatchet. And what I have along with my hatchet that I also put in my pack is a good saw. This one, it does collapse. You just unscrew this and it takes the blade off. There's straps here on the side of my pack that I just typically put this on there with it. So have a good saw that's with you. And then also, I don't always take a full-size axe. I have a medium-sized one, but I'll take a full-size axe with me. Chopping wood, it makes it 100 times easier. You can use a hatchet. Most of the time, I do just use a hatchet, but sometimes having that full-length swing with an axe is nice. An inflatable sleeping mat. This one is very, very easy to use. You just go ahead, pop it open. There's a little valve that's on there. Just go ahead and put a couple breaths in it, and it gets you up off the ground. So it's just that little extra creature comfort while you're out there camping in the woods, especially when you're sleeping on the ground. Something else that's in here that's often overlooked by other hunters, maybe not so much hikers or campers, but hunters sometimes overlook this, especially when you're out there for several days. Personal hygiene. These are the cold wipes from Duke Cannon. I love these wipes. I used to use the field wipes and stuff like that they would give us in the Army. They work, but they're not the greatest. Once again, anything that anybody ever tells you, oh, this is military grade, just walk away from it. Anything that's military grade just means that it was the lowest bidder. That's who the government contract went with. That's not that great. If military grade was so great, I would have bought a rucksack like the one that I was issued, and I can tell you right now, those things are terrible on your back. You can make them work. This is 100 times more comfortable than anything that I was issued. So take it from me so you don't have to suffer in pain. This is much better. And down here towards the bottom, something else that I like to use, just a good old roll of 550 cord. You can use this for so many different things, making a shelter, hanging bags of, a deer that you just quartered, whatever you're going to use it for. The possibilities are endless, so you can just utilize that for all sorts of things. Also, I have it right here. Extra socks. I just have one pair in here because I haven't used this pack in a couple of years. I take it with me up north when I go up towards the Allegheny National Forest, but you're going to want a bunch of these, especially when you're out days on end, because you're going to be changing multiple socks. And something else that I go into is just a little fire making kit. I have a lighter here, as you guys already saw. You could even really use that jet boil to start a fire if you wanted to. It's something that is just easy to have on hand. Cotton balls with Vaseline. I'm sure we've all seen those tricks. These things will burn for like a minute and 30 seconds, a minute sometimes, depending on how well you soak them with Vaseline. I love using cotton balls with Vaseline. It's just such an easy fire starter. And here I have a couple different variations of ferrous rod, fire striker. This one is just very easy to use. The striker's attached to it. It's just a wooden handle. I think this one is also from Pathfinder. They have a lot of good survival stuff, but I'm by no means out there like surviving. To me, it's just camping and hunting, but I guess to a certain point it could be considered survival. This is great, especially with those cotton balls. It throws off a good bit of spark, if I get it going the right way. So as you guys see there, it's very, very simple to use. All right, so that, I believe, I feel like things. Oh no, I do have one more thing in here, a couple more things. Good little folding saw. So if you're not going to be using a big saw like that, not planning on cutting anything super big, good folding saw comes in use. So I carry one of these with me always as well. And I also have, this is more towards winter time, I have gaiters that go around the top of your boots just to keep the snow and everything else out of your shoes. Apparently I have 2 folding saws in there, so I was wondering where that other one was. I just found it. Here's another folding saw, just more stuff to have for cutting wood. And I think that might be it for the main pouch that I have there. Something else to consider when you're out in the woods hiking around, especially when you get in inclement weather, is keeping all of this stuff dry. So this pack is not waterproof at all. So one of the things that I purchased is just a pack cover. And it's an elastic band on the ends here, and it just goes over the whole entire pack. That way, if you're getting rained on, or you're going in any type of snowy weather, and you want to keep all your gear dry, this is great just for having to put on your pack. That way, you're not getting all of your gear soaked, your food's not getting nasty, and anything else along those lines. So this is pretty much what I carry, whether it's I'm going out west hunting, or if I'm going into an area that I want to go deep into the woods, I'll carry a bag like this. Now, I would say with all this gear that I have here with the pack and with the water and everything else that I carry, probably upwards of about 32 to 35 pounds, somewhere around there, which it seems like a lot. You guys can curtail and change this type of pack setup to whatever it is that you need specifically. This is just what I use. So if anybody else has any other suggestions or recommendations of what they use or what packs they use, love to see your setups. Don't be afraid to comment and say, hey Mike, this is what I use. This is what I recommend. I'm all ears. I like hearing other ideas, other people's experience. My experience, I wouldn't say I have a ton of experience, but I probably have more experience than most. This is just my humble setup of what I use. So with that being said, with the next couple of videos that we have coming up, I'm going to show you guys how I use this stuff. We're going to do a camping video with the tent that I had showed you in the previous video. An overnight stay out in the woods. We're going to go ahead and show you this stuff in use and what all we do. Might do a little bit of a small game hunting video mixed in with that. Do a little kill and cook right inside of that video. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.